mountain the Romans believe is extinct opens its throat at midday. A column of pulverized rock punches 33 kilometers into the sky, higher than any airplane flies today. 1.5 million tons of stone per second. The admiral of the Roman fleet, the most famous naturalist alive, immediately sails his warships directly into the cloud to save them. He never returns. His body is found 2 days later on a beach covered in warm ash. Intact, uninjured, clothed exactly as he was. His nephew writes that he looks more like a man sleeping than a dead one. That nephew picks up a pen 25 years later and writes 2 letters to a historian named Tacitus. A handful of pages. The only eyewitness account that survives antiquity. The birth of volcanology itself. But here is the part no history class ever teaches. When the eruption begins at midday, the surge of superheated gas that kills instantly does not reach Pompeii until after midnight. 12 hours of warning. 12 hours during which the wealthiest men on earth, senators whose fortunes could fund entire armies, bankers who controlled shipping lanes from Alexandria to Hispania, patrician bloodlines that shaped Rome for generations, watched the column rise above the mountain and decided to stay. Not because they were trapped, because their villas were too expensive to abandon, their artwork too irreplaceable to carry, their financial records, wax tablets documenting every loan, every land deed, every business partnership across the empire, impossible to move in time. This is not a story about a volcano. This is the story of the single most concentrated destruction of private Roman wealth in the history of the empire. The 12 hours that turned the most expensive coastline on Earth into the most famous ghost town in human history. The Romans call it Crater Delicatus, the cup of delights, emperor's vacation here. Senators own the hills, bankers build marble pools that drain straight into the sea. On one morning, this is the most concentrated zone of private wealth on Earth. On the next morning, it is gone. But on this morning, the morning it all begins, the mountain is still quiet. The slaves are still crushing grapes. The magistrates are still preparing the public games. The richest men on the peninsula are still asleep in their beds, and the sun is just beginning to climb. This is Pompeii, 79 AD. The day the empire loses its vacation home. A single morning on the Bay of Naples, the sun rises over a coastline of white marble. Pompeii, Herculaneum, Oplontis, Stabiae, 4 wealthy towns within sight of one mountain. Pompeii holds roughly 12,000 residents, merchants, bakers, slaves, magistrates. Wealthy Romans call it a summer villa town. Locals call it a trading port. Herculaneum is smaller, quieter, richer, fewer shops, more marble. The villas here face the sea directly. One of them is the villa of the Papyri. The owner collects books. Hundreds of Greek philosophy scrolls line the walls. Modern scholars believe the owner is Lucius Calpurnius Piso Caesoninus, father-in-law of Julius Caesar, or a direct descendant of the same line. The villa employs a resident philosopher. It houses life-sized bronze statues. It is the single most expensive private library on the peninsula. Further south, at Oplontis, a palace complex spreads across the cliffs. Marble porticos, frescoed bedrooms, a swimming pool 17 meters long. Archaeologists link this villa to the family of Poppaea Sabina, the late wife of Emperor Nero. The coast between Naples and Sorrento holds hundreds of villas like these, each one worth millions of sesterces. Together, they form the retirement portfolio of the entire Roman ruling class. The Romans named the bay Crater Delicatus, the cup of delights. This is where senators sleep late, where oligarchs eat oysters for breakfast, where the most expensive slaves in the empire serve the most powerful men alive. Mount Vesuvius stands behind them. Green slopes, vineyards, terraced olive groves. The Romans think it is a normal mountain. The word volcano does not exist in Latin. They have no category for what it is. But the mountain has a memory. 17 years earlier, on February 5th, 62 AD, a massive earthquake destroyed large parts of Pompeii. Temples collapsed, aqueducts cracked. The Emperor Nero sent architects. The city is still under reconstruction on the morning Vesuvius wakes up. Small tremors have shaken the region for days. Wells run dry. Fountains fall silent. Fish float dead in the harbor. Sheep graze in the pastures. The wealthy ignore these signs. The earthquake was a lifetime ago. The wine harvest has started. The slaves are crushing grapes. The magistrates are preparing the public games. In the Villa of the Mysteries, frescoes glow in the half-light. In the House of the Faun, a mosaic floor depicting Alexander the Great shines under morning sun. In the markets, fresh bread comes out of the ovens. The richest men on the peninsula are asleep in their beds. The sun climbs, the mountain breathes. And somewhere in the bay, a small tremor rattles a wine cup on a marble table. Imagine it. You are inside that villa. The table shakes, the cup moves. You assume it is nothing. You go back to sleep. You have less than 12 hours left. Around midday, the mountain cracks. A single explosion. Not lava, not fire. A vertical column of pulverized rock punches upward at supersonic speed. Pliny the Younger watches it from Misenum, 30 kilometers across the bay. He describes it in a letter to Tacitus years later. A cloud of unusual size and appearance. Its shape, he writes, is like an umbrella pine, a single trunk of smoke that splits into branches at the top. He does not know the word for what he is seeing. No Roman does. Today, volcanologists call this exact phenomenon a Plinian eruption, named after him. The column climbs to 33 kilometers, higher than any commercial aircraft flies today. It carries millions of tons of rock upward every minute, and the wind is blowing south-southeast, straight toward Pompeii. Within an hour, pumice begins to fall. Small stones at first. Light, almost floating. Children grab them for fun. Then the stones get bigger. Walnut-sized, fist-sized, hand-sized. They accumulate on rooftops at 10 to 15 centimeters per hour. Pompeii sits directly downwind. Herculaneum, to the west of the volcano, receives almost nothing in this first phase. The elite in Herculaneum look across the bay at the column and do not flee. They are curious. They are safe. They are rich. This will be the mistake that kills them. In Pompeii, the mood is different. The sky turns black at noon. Pumice rattles on tiled roofs like hail. Oil lamps are lit in the middle of the day. Some residents flee immediately. They run south. They run west. They run for the gates. Archaeologists believe the majority of Pompeii's population escapes in the first 6 hours. But the wealthy hesitate. Their mansions are full. Gold ingots in the vaults, silver services in the dining rooms, bronze statues bolted to the walls, scrolls in the libraries, slaves too numerous to evacuate. They wait. They pack. They send messengers to check the roads. They trust that a mountain has never destroyed a city before. And all the while, pumice falls. By the 4th hour, some roofs have collapsed. By the 6th hour, the streets in Pompeii are knee-deep in stone. By the 8th hour, the pumice layer reaches 1 meter. By the 12th hour, 2.5 meters. Doors will not open. Horses cannot run. The sea turns violent. The tide pulls away from the shore in a strange, slow retreat. In the villa of the Papyri at Herculaneum, the wealthy finish dinner. They can see the column from their terraces. It is now blocking the sun. And 30 kilometers across the bay, at Misenum, a naval commander puts down his books. He is 55 years old, overweight, asthmatic. He has written 37 volumes on the natural world. He commands the largest fleet in the Mediterranean. His name is Gaius Plinius Secundus. History knows him as Pliny the Elder. He walks down to the harbor. He orders the warships prepared. He is going to sail directly into the cloud. What he does not know is that the mountain is not finished. The column rising over Vesuvius is only the first act. The worst has not even begun. Pliny the Elder boards a quadrireme, 4 banks of oars, the fastest warship in the fleet. His original plan is scientific observation. He is the author of Naturalis Historia, the encyclopedia of the known world. He wants to record the phenomenon for the next volume. He invites his nephew to join him. The nephew declines. He prefers to stay at Misenum and read Livy in the courtyard. This single decision saves his life and gives the world its only written account of the disaster. At the harbor, a messenger arrives, a woman named Rectina. She lives in a villa at the base of Vesuvius. Her only escape route is by sea. She sends a written plea to her old friend Pliny. Pliny changes the mission. Observation becomes rescue. He orders quadriremes out, multiple ships, a full fleet. According to his nephew, he speaks the line history preserves. Fortis fortuna juvat. Fortune favors the bold. The fleet rows east into the falling ash. Halfway across the bay, the helmsman warns him to turn back. Pumice is hitting the deck. The wind is wrong. The water is choked with floating stone. Pliny refuses. He orders the crew to continue to Stabiae. Stabiae holds the villa of his friend Pomponianus. Pomponianus has already loaded his own ships, but the wind is blowing directly onshore. He cannot leave. He is trapped in his own harbor. Pliny arrives. He embraces his friend. He bathes. He eats dinner. He orders his aides to describe his behavior as calm, to project composure to the household. He sleeps, or pretends to sleep, while the mountain roars across the bay. At Stabiae, the night turns impossible. Flames leap from the peak of Vesuvius. The ground shakes without stopping. Ash falls so thick that servants must shovel it from the doorways every few minutes. Buildings sway, roofs crack, and then, sometime after midnight, the column collapses. The eruption enters its second phase. For 18 hours, the column has punched upward, feeding on superheated gas. Now the gas loses pressure. The column loses its strength. And a pillar of superheated rock 33 kilometers high cannot stay up when the engine fails. It falls, not as a pillar, as an avalanche. Gravity pulls millions of tons of pulverized rock back toward the mountain. But the rock is still hot, hundreds of degrees hot. When it hits the slopes, it spreads outward horizontally, faster than sound in places. This is a pyroclastic surge, a wall of volcanic gas, ash, and rock. Temperatures up to 500 degrees Celsius, speeds over 100 kilometers per hour. Nothing survives it. The first surge hits Herculaneum, 4 kilometers of ground covered in seconds. The marble villas along the seafront, the villa of the Papyri with its scrolls and bronzes. The boat sheds where about 300 people huddle together, waiting for rescue ships that never come. They die in less than 1/10 of a second. Soft tissue vaporizes, teeth survive, bones crack from internal pressure. Some skulls explode from the instant boiling of the brain. When modern archaeologists open the boat sheds in the 1980s, they find skeletons piled on top of children. Some still wear jewelry, gold bracelets, iron keys, signet rings. One carries a pouch of 65 silver and gold coins. Another clutches a short sword and military insignia. He is believed to be a Roman soldier, possibly sent to help evacuate. He fails. And the worst is still coming. Because Herculaneum is not Pompeii. Pompeii is 16 kilometers from the crater. The surges have not reached it yet, but they will. In a few hours, another one is going to come. 6 surges in total. The first 3 hit Herculaneum between midnight and around 3 a.m. Over 20 meters of superheated mud and rock pour over the town. The villa of the Papyri disappears beneath the earth. Its library, around 1,800 carbonized scrolls, survives only because the wrappings burn too fast to destroy the interior. They will not be found for 17 centuries. They are, today, or the only intact Roman library ever recovered. At Stabii, Pliny the Elder wakes before dawn. The courtyard is filling with ash. He is warned that the roof is about to give. He walks to the beach. Perhaps he hopes to reach a ship. Perhaps he is simply looking for air. The sea is impassable, full of floating pumice, flat with ash. His aides hold pillows tied to their heads against the falling stones. Around sunrise, Pliny collapses. He is 55, asthmatic, overweight. The air is thick with sulfur dioxide and fine ash. His nephew later writes that Pliny dies as if falling asleep. Modern physicians suspect cardiac arrest or respiratory failure from volcanic gases. Either way, the most famous scientist in Rome dies on a beach covered in warm ash, with a quadrireme unable to reach him. His body is found 2 days later. His nephew records it. Intact, uninjured, clothed exactly as he had been. He looked more like a man sleeping than a dead one. Around 6:30 a.m., the 4th surge reaches Pompeii. Until this moment, most of the people still inside the city are alive. They have survived the pumice. They have waited out the night. Some have climbed onto the rising layer of stones and are walking across rooftops. They believe the worst is over. They are wrong. The surge arrives at over 100 kilometers per hour. It carries air heated to hundreds of degrees Celsius. One breath burns the lungs beyond function. In seconds, the city is silent. In the house of Menander, the family dies together in a service corridor. In the bakery of Modestus, 81 carbonized loaves remain in the oven. In the garden of the fugitives, 13 bodies fall in a single cluster caught mid-step trying to reach the southern gate. One man sits against a wall with a bag of gold coins beside him. One woman clutches a child to her chest. One dog, chained to a post, twists in the last seconds of its life, body arched upward against the leash. All of them die in under 2 minutes. All of them are buried within an hour. By late morning, the sky over the bay is black. Ash falls on Rome, 240 kilometers north. It reaches the Balkans. It reaches North Africa. A thin grey film settles as far as Egypt and Syria. The Emperor Titus receives word within days. He has been emperor for only a few months. He declares a state of emergency. He appoints 2 senators of consular rank to administer relief. He travels to the bay personally, not once, but twice. But when he arrives, there is nothing to administer. There are no walls to repair, no streets to clear. There is only a flat grey plain where 3 cities used to be. The property of those who died without heirs is seized by the state and redistributed to aid the survivors. Tax exemptions are granted. A reconstruction fund is opened. And then something strange happens. No one rebuilds Pompeii or Herculaneum. The towns are gone. The elite who owned them are gone. The trade routes shift. The mountain is still warm. The empire simply walks away. Within a generation, the exact location of Pompeii is forgotten by the general public. Within 3 centuries, new forests grow over the buried rooftops. By the medieval period, farmers plow soil above marble floors they do not know exist. And the most concentrated deposit of Roman wealth in history lies beneath their feet. Untouched, waiting. 1,669 years pass. In 1748, under the orders of King Charles of Bourbon in Naples, workmen digging a foundation strike carved marble, a fresco, a statue, a paved street. They have found Pompeii. They do not know it yet. The town has no name to them. But the excavators pull out bronze statues, silver services, intact jewelry, and realize they are standing inside a perfectly preserved Roman city. It is the archaeological discovery of the millennium. By 1863, Giuseppe Fiorelli takes over the excavation. He notices something no one before him has. The bodies of the victims decomposed centuries ago, but the hardened ash around them formed perfect molds, hollow cavities in the shape of a person, and he pours plaster into the cavities. He waits, he chips away the surrounding rock, and out come the dead. A woman face down, arms extended, a man seated against a wall, hand raised to his face as if blocking the air, a child curled into its mother, a dog, chain still attached to its collar, body arched in the last instant of its life. These plaster casts become the most famous archaeological objects in the world. But Pompeii is not just a cemetery, it is a time machine. Because Vesuvius killed the city so fast, it preserved everything. Loaves of bread still in ovens, wine still in amphorae, olive oil still in jars, graffiti still on walls, some of it obscene, some political, some poetic. One inscription on a wall in Pompeii reads, "I am amazed, wall, that you have not collapsed. Since you bear the tedious scribbles of so many writers." 2,000 years later, the wall still stands. The writers are still complaining. For the first time in history, the private lives of the Roman elite are visible in full. Not from statues, not from state chronicles, not from coins, from their bathrooms, their kitchens, their bedrooms, their account books. The villa of the Papyri at Herculaneum yields around 1,800 carbonized scrolls. Modern imaging techniques now read them without physically unwrapping them. They contain Greek philosophy, lost works of the philosopher Philodemus, possibly texts from the library of Epicurus himself. They are pieces of a classical world almost entirely erased by the centuries that followed. At Oplontis, frescoes recovered from the villa linked to Pompeii, Sabina revealed the private taste of the imperial family. Peacocks, silver swans, faked marble columns, theatrical masks. At Pompeii, the House of the Vetii reveals the fortunes of two freedmen, former slaves, who amassed enough wealth to build one of the most decorated houses in the city. Their name is painted beside their portraits. Every villa is a balance sheet. Every fresco is a tax return. Every signet ring is a business card. Historians can now measure Roman wealth the way accountants measure modern portfolios, and the totals are staggering. The destroyed villas on the Bay of Naples represent, in modern valuations, billions of dollars in private assets. The extinguished households include senators, equestrians, imperial freedmen, and the highest tier of provincial bankers. No single event in Roman history destroyed this much private wealth this quickly. Not a war, not a sack, not a purge, a mountain. And here is the final irony. Because Vesuvius destroyed these families so completely, it preserved them so perfectly. The rest of the Roman elite, the senators who died in their beds in Rome, the bankers who passed peacefully on the Tiber, left behind almost nothing. Their villas were looted, recycled, rebuilt, torn down, and built over for 1,000 years. The elite buried beneath Vesuvius left behind everything. We know more about the private daily lives of the richest families on the Bay of Naples in 79 AD than we know about the richest families in Rome in the same year. They are the only ones whose secrets the mountain kept safe. One day, 24 hours. A column of rock punches the sky. A fleet sails into the cloud. A scientist dies on a beach. 3 cities vanish beneath meters of ash. The resort coast of the Roman Empire, the Crater Delicatus, the cup of delights, becomes the cup of silence. The senators do not rebuild. The bankers do not return. The villas stay buried until the 18th century. A forest grows where a shoreline used to be, and the mountain continues to breathe. Vesuvius erupts again in 1631, killing around 4,000 people. It erupts again in 1906, again in 1944, during the Second World War, while Allied soldiers camp in its shadow. Geologists now classify it as overdue. Today, roughly 3 million people live inside its current danger zone, more than the entire population of the Roman coast in 79 AD combined. And still, the villas glitter on the bay. Still are the rich build pools that drain into the sea. Still, the mountain stands behind them, green and quiet, with a memory that spans 20 centuries. Pompeii is not only a warning about volcanoes, it is a warning about certainty, about the belief that a beautiful place cannot become a grave, about the elite who stayed because their furniture was too expensive to leave, and their slaves too many to move, and their villas too permanent to abandon. The sun rose on the richest coast in the Roman Empire. The sun set on an empty plain of ash. In between, 24 hours. 24 hours that erased the most concentrated cluster of Roman elite wealth in the ancient world. And 2,000 years later, we are still digging them out. One frozen body at a time. One carbonized scroll at a time. One buried fortune at a time. The mountain kept their secrets, and the mountain someday will speak again.